Hey guys, welcome back. Scott here with a new beer dissection video for you. What I have today, let me get right to it. From Voodoo Ranger, from New Belgium, obviously. I think New Belgium was bought out by Lion Beverage in Australia, which is a subsidiary of Kirin Beverage, but it's their Tropic Force IPA. Now, for many of you that are you don't have to be a beer geek to understand this, but you may see Juice Force out there, Fruit Force IPA from, Voodoo Ranger, and we know the Voodoo Ranger brand with the little skeleton guy on there. I haven't been too happy with those two beers. I saw this one, believe it or not, at a local 7-Eleven, and I just picked it up. So I figured, we'll just try this thing out because I've never had Tropic Force. Now, recently, depending on when you're watching this, I just did a compilation pack from Voodoo Ranger. And we usually know Voodoo Ranger as a reasonably priced IPA brand, okay? Because we usually know, I usually assimilate when I see Voodoo Ranger as some form of IPA. Now, they're usually not as good as some of the big boys like Trillium, Treehouse, Hills Farmstead, Equilibrium, even many of your local breweries in your area. But because they're usually economical, they're easily available. I know technically they're big beer now. They're kind of hit and miss, in my opinion. Some of the beers are pretty good. Some are not as good. Some of the ones that I think are not as good, a lot of people seem to have a big market share with them, like Fruit Force. I have many people, when I comment on Fruit Force, they're like, what do you mean you don't like Fruit Force? I find Fruit Force medicinal, things like that. So when I saw this one come out, which I haven't had, I figured I wanted to try this out. So this is Tropic Force Tropical IPA. I believe this is coming in around 9.5% alcohol also, like the Juice Force is, which is, pretty hefty. Okay, it's their Imperial IPA. But the American beer market, we do everything amped up, right? Extra hops, extra malt, extra alcohol, everything like that. So I wanted to try this one out. First time I'm having it here on camera, and let's just see what this one's all about. Sorry, I didn't do this one in front of the light. I'm filming this in February. Usually I do a thing with my back deck and my backyard on the background, but the sunlight has been distorting the videos recently, especially for those of you who follow me pretty closely. All right, so let's check this one out and see what it's all about. I'm pouring into my regular teacup glass. I would recommend, like most IPAs, pour into a tulip, teacup glass, something with a wide base to capture those aromatics, let them funnel up to the top. So let's take a look at this. All right, so nice, inch, a little more of an inch, white head, maybe slightly off-white. Kind of got a medium to dark gold color, pretty hazy. Didn't look at the grist. If you followed me along, you know that a lot of these IPAs these days will use, especially hazy juicies. This is not being, labeled as a hazy juicy IPA that they may use. But in this one, they may use some oats, unmalted wheat. It creates some protein structure that adds to the haziness beyond the regular polyphenols and hop matter in these copiously hopped beers. All right, so let's take a sniff of the aroma on this one. So again, kind of that gold color, nice looking. I mean, I can't really criticize it. It looks like a standard IPA. And what I like my teacup glass is I can kind of swirl and get some of the aromatics coming up towards the top. Whoa. Talk about a fruit bomb here. Kind of get like tropical fruit, mango, peach. There's some type of citrus, kind of like maybe like orange, tangerine, apricot, things like that. I did look at the hops quickly. I know they're using Strata, Sabro, I think Galaxy too. I think I wrote a couple of them down. Chinook, Pato, if I'm pronouncing that properly. So I get that orange, tangerine, There's even like a little bit of vanilla on the nose. Like sugar, almost like you had a popsicle, like those popsicles that you had as a kid that had like the ice cream and like the orange sherbet. That's kind of what you're getting on the nose. But it's very, I gotta tell you, even though we're not perceiving sweetness on the nose, the perception I'm getting is it's gonna be a very sweet beer. And unfortunately, I'm a little biased towards Juice Force because that one I know was cloyingly sweet. I mean, it smells good, but it kind of gives you that orange, vanilla. Like I said, I usually don't get vanilla very much. Grape. But again, kind of like that popsicle kind of aromatics. Anything maybe slightly herbal, but that's about it. Malt-wise, you kind of got like, bread crust, medium toast at the very most there. Okay, but it's smelling like one of those popsicle kind of candies that I get from the ice cream man, the good humor guy on the street corner. Anyway, guys, but it smells good. I mean, it's pleasant. It does smell pleasant. I'm just very concerned because I know from Fruit Force, that one was very, very sweet. So anyway, guys, cheers. Okay. So you get that tangerine, orange, whatever you want to call it. There is still some vanilla on there. Now this is what's confusing me, is that I'm a home brewer. I don't home brew as much as I used to do. So like Sabro, Strata, what else did I have on there? Chinook is more of a Pacific Northwest hop. But Strata and Lotus was the other one. Lotus is the one that gives you the vanilla. I get those characteristics from these hops, which is normal, which is Strata, like I said, Lotus and Sabro. Oh, that's right. Sabro has the tangerine. They have, say, coconut, but so you're getting those characteristics. The problem I'm having, though, is that it has like this medicinal, like Juice Force. Now, when I was home brewing, sometimes if you wanted to add fruit, you would use, like, I call them tinctures, but some people may call them extracts, things like that you dump into the beer. It will create, like, I think I used a raspberry one time, and it gives you that raspberry aroma flavor, but it's usually medicinal and artificial. And that's unfortunately what I'm getting with this beer, with this tropical fruit, mango, tangerine, vanilla. But I know from these hops that I wrote a few of them down, you can also get that Galaxy, Strata, Sabro. You can get similar characteristics than what I'm accusing them of using a tincture or artificial sweetener, like you would get in Juice Force that has like a very strong mango, orange kind of taste to it. So, but the hops. So again, I'm okay with brewers using hops in a very, not I would say unique way, but a creative way to create that fruit, that tropical fruit aroma, flavor. But when they start using tinctures, I'm starting to suspect they're using tinctures, especially from a brand that's technically big beer. I get a little suspicious that I don't think it's coming strictly from the hops. So the Sabro, the Strata, the strawberry, Lotus, the vanilla, that you do get in the beer, which is actually, quite nice. It does smell nice, and you get the tropical fruit. Thankfully, it's not overly cloyingly sweet like Juice Force is. I would say this is better than Juice Force. The bitterness is moderate, to pronounce. I said it's 9.5% alcohol. I don't get to say, I'm getting a little bit of alcoholic warmth, not as much as Juice Force will give me, but it is there a little bit. On the aftertaste, I'm left with tangerine. And there's actually like a strawberry, like a almost like a cotton candy strawberry on the taste buds too. And thankfully, it's drinking a little bit drier than Juice Force and Fruit Force. Fruit Force is like Hawaiian Punch with alcohol in it. It's very sweet. So, listen, it's, tonight's beer dissection, Voodoo Ranger, Tropic Force. It's one of those things like, let me give it a grade. Grade-wise, I'm not going to go any higher than B. And, if I was speaking to the brewers and they were using mainly all the tinctures, I would bring it down to like C+. I'm giving it a B just because I know the hops that they're using, and I did write a couple of them down. I have brewed with that, and I've had other beers with this. Chinook, which is a Pacific Northwest, Pacto, if I'm pronouncing that right, Strata, Sabro. Those can give similar characteristics, tropical fruit, orange, vanilla, everything I just said to you guys on camera. So, like, if they're tricking me, kudos to them. But because I'm getting that medicinal, I'm even getting like that stickiness on my lips from drinking this. So I guess there is a little bit more residual sweetness that I'm perceiving initially, that they're tricking me a little bit, because if they're probably using similar tinctures or artificial sweeteners that you get that these hops would also derive from. So that's why I'm slightly on the fence with this beer and really where I want to go with it. So I'm going to say B, which may be higher in some people's books, maybe lower in others. I got to say, though, I'm enjoying this a little bit more than Juice Force and Fruit Force. I can get those beers very easily. Even like a 7-Eleven locally has the Fruit Force. A lot of people like to get drunk quick on those. They're like 9.5% alcohol. That's not my ulterior motive to drinking those beers. But those beers are definitely more cloyingly sweet. This one is definitely, in my opinion, better than Fruit Force, without a doubt. And I believe the, what did I say? Fruit Force and what's the other one? Juice Force. Fruit Force and Juice Force. I could be getting the names right. These guys sometimes have these names so similar. So this is Tropic Force. So Tropic Force, I would say, is better than Juice Force, and I guess it's Fruit Force. Okay, the other one. So again, I apologize because sometimes I don't want to have like a million notes here on the standby. But pretty good. I would say average, slightly below average beer. So anyway, guys, that's the beer dissection for tonight. Voodoo Rangers, Tropic Force. Okay, if you want something that's hitting you with some tropical fruit flavors, orange, a little vanilla. There's probably a little bit of mango in there too. I probably didn't mention that before. Slight pineapple, but typical tropical fruit flavors. Possibly even passion fruit. But when you grab these fruits, if you've had them in your house, depending on the ripeness of the fruit, sometimes it's a little more ripe, it's going to be a little more pungent. If it's not as ripe, it's going to be a little more subdued. So that's why sometimes it's like some of these fruits like overlap into others, and it's tough to distinguish specifically between passion fruit and, say, a mango. But anyway, guys, it's kind of average B. And that's it. So anyway, guys, the next beer dissection video. Have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.